Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I'm Fred Jones here with Decision 300. This is our second show. Decision 300, of course, is the brainchild of Esther Davis with the fabulous Esther Davis Show, Esther Davis producer, etc., etc. I'm Fred Jones with Jones 2000 and Beyond. Again, we're here with Decision 300. As you know, we are trying to really get our black men involved with television. We want to bring some interesting stories. We want to bring some interesting entrepreneurs. And we want to get some men in the community that are not normally brought forth or have an opportunity to speak. And today, as always, I'm going to always have Gordon Jackson with me, my buddy Gordon Jackson with the Dallas Weekly here over here. But I also have with me Mr. J.W. Willis. I have Mr. Jack Edwards. Now, you are going to be in for a treat. Because as you know, the last show we had Monroe, and we were really getting into some deep things here with our conversation. But what we're going to do is continue to expand on the plight of the black community and how we can elevate ourselves and back into prominence. And I'm going to let the gentlemen, my guests here, introduce themselves and briefly tell you what they do and what they're about. And then we're going to get into our topics of discussion. And for the information, we're here at 609 Harwood in beautiful downtown Dallas, where the owner, Billy G. or Billy Greer, has created a beautiful place of ambiance. And it is black owned, black operated, black chef, black everything, everybody. I'm telling you, but everybody's included, because once you walk through here, because downtown includes everybody. So here we are at 609 Harwood. And we want to just again express our appreciation for Bill and his staff for opening up these doors and allowing us to be here. Without any further ado, Mr. Willis, tell us about who you are, what you're about, briefly, and then we're going to get into it and we're going to give it Mr. Edwards.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for having me on the show. I'm J.W. Willis, Chairman, CEO, owner of Black and A&D, Hispanic InternetTV.com. That's Black and A&D, HispanicInternetTV.com. It's a website that's featuring internet television. We have gospel, stand-up comedy, black movies, as well as black music videos and black concerts. The same thing for Hispanics. And we're also a shopping site as well. So I want to extend that out there and have people go to the site and come on board.
Edwards.
I am Jack Edwards, owner of J.E. Home and Construction Services. We also have a mentoring program called Christian Children's Workshop. We have transformation centers where we teach the youngster how to use a skill or talent and use your education to something that later on in life you'll be able to use as a skill to build your own house, or if you want to build just whatever you want to build, that these skills are transferred into something useful in life.
Or build some wealth, huh?
Yeah, there you go. Wealth transformation is what it's all about. That's it.
Hello everybody, I'm Gordon Jackson. I'm managing editor of the Dallas Weekly and DallasWeekly.com. We're growing into a major communications firm where we have got not only the newspaper, but our website, DallasWeekly.com, our email e-blast that's just in, Dallas Weekly on air, our video streaming component. So we're becoming a full-fledged multimedia industry company, communications company that is serving primarily the African American community.
We're so fortunate to have both of you two gentlemen here, and then we're going to get right into, because Brother Edwards and I had an interesting discussion prior to, and I said, save it for the show, because he was really getting geared up, getting hyped up here. But what we want to get into real quickly here is, when we're talking about mentorship, how are we going to be able to build that? Because you know the problems with our black youth, and then you can jump in on this too, Mr. Willis. But with our black youth, how do you? Everybody has tried. We've tried different things in different areas to try and reach our youth. How is your mentorship program going to be able to make this thing happen? And what's unique and different about your mentorship program? And then I want to bring the two media people. I want you to chime in and say, how does that work from a internet perspective and from a media perspective, how this thing is going to work out?
Okay, well, the first thing is there's a difference between change and transformation. Once a caterpillar changed into a butterfly, he could no longer go back to being a butterfly if he wanted to. So, but that's what makes the difference, because once you get some wisdom, some vision, some information, and then you start develop your relationships, building up some property, and then you can defeat poverty. But see, when you're in poverty, it's hard to look up and say, you know what, I can get up, I can make something with my life. And we as black men, we were not fathered, we were not taught to be lawyers, doctors, scientists, so we wasn't covered. So now we're asking the black men to bring something out of us that's not in us. So now this mentoring program, that's what it's going to do. I'm going to teach them how to build past the dwelling is. So when they get to a certain point in time in life, if you want to launch out on it, if you want to fall back on it, it's something other to fall back on other than drugs. It's something to fall back on other than being in the game. Because if the game fathered them, you know, transformation is cheaper than rehabilitation. If the government can spend $300,000 a year to keep this child in prison, why come they can't spend $30,000 a year to do some transformation? So we need to build these transformation centers.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Willis, you got the meeting. Now, you're also dealing with Hispanics,
Absolutely.
which are also suffering some economics. But in my opinion, the Hispanics, they seem to have a different family coalition or a structure. So based on what we hear from Mr. Edwards with his passion, what do you feel the internet television is going to be able to provide for that too, and what's going on? How's that going to blend in?
Well, from the internet side, obviously, it will reach a mass of people. And with that being said, it could tie in very well to what he's talking about. I really like what he said on the mentorship side because, it's about being able to educate yourself.
Yes.
And then once you educate yourself, the limits
Teach somebody else.
The limits are unestablished.
You can manage wealth.
Exactly. Gordon, how do you see this?
Well, we report about mentorship programs all the time, and there's several of them out there. Susan Taylor, the former editor of Essence, has a national mentorship program, and then there are some good programs here, like what Mr. Edwards has, Big Brothers Big Sisters, a lot of good mentorship programs. I think what is needed, though, is that there needs to be a structured program that does gear toward the black male, because they do have their own special, unique situations. They do have their own special, unique obstacles. And I think one thing that the mentorship programs can do is that it can develop for young black males a rites of passage program, a universal rites of passage program, just like the Jewish community has, and just like other communities has, so that that black male can identify step by step throughout their life, where they're at in life and where they need to move up to, and then when they think and when they know that they are prepared to go out and be constructive and positive citizens of society.
That's it. Well, I totally agree with what he's saying, but that's what we need to do. We need to follow these children, because, like I say, a child's life is too important to be disregarded. And like I say, somebody mentored me, somebody taught me and gave me a head start. But if it wasn't nothing but just encouragement, sometimes, just encouragement, tell them that, you can make something of yourself. But if you can tell them that I see something in you that you're too smart to give up. If you were to come to this transformation center, it's a way that you can make it with a skill.
Okay, we're going to wrap this segment up. We're going to come back. As we told, we get to pay some bills too. Decision 300. We're trying to work on some things. We pay our own bills, but this is what we're about. We're going to be self-producing and self-motivating, self-directed. So we're going to come back with our next segment. We're going to conclude. We're going to finish up a little bit. We want to go into a little bit about the economics. We're also going to talk about Tiger Woods. We can't roll without talking about Tiger. Okay. So that's what's going on here at Decision 300. Fred Jones, Jesse Davis, producer. Thank you very much. We'll see you in a minute.